Vista preserves. And this beautiful jewel, along with the Kern River, brings so much refreshment to our children, our families, in the splendor of nature. Do we start again? No, they don't care about that. Did you turn it on? Okay, here we are. Together, we're seeking to further improve the treasure of the Panorama Vista Preserve and the Kern River. Today, we're highlighting the opportunity to enhance the environment for both the enjoyment and the protection of Bakersfield residents. We're also highlighting an opportunity to enhance the habitat and refuge for our local wildlife. The City of Bakersfield is grateful for Senator Hurtado's SB 553 bill, which allocates $2 million from the Proposition 4 funds for Kern County for habitat conservation and plain restoration projects. These projects will support flood management to ensure the protection of people and property. These projects also will improve surface water recharge, which will benefit our Kern's sub-basin. Senator Hurtado, thank you so much for bringing stakeholders together for a common sense approach that benefits our communities and the Central Valley economy. We need water management policies like SB 556 to recharge groundwater, aquifers, and protect our homes, protect our businesses from flooding. Bakersfield, Senator, appreciates your efforts to invest in the beautiful Kern River, to invest in the beautiful preserve here. Thank you so much for caring about the residents of Bakersfield, the residents of Kern County, for our protection, for the enjoyment of our residents, and for our beautiful habitat. And it's my pleasure now to turn it over to the hardworking 3rd District Supervisor, Supervisor Jeff Flores.
Thank you, Mayor Joe. Thank you. I'm trying to follow your footsteps, as you are the hardest working mayor in California, I can tell you that. So,
all right, here we go. Together.
There are 2 hard-working mayors here. It's a tie. So I just want to welcome everyone here to the Panorama Bluffs and Panorama Park. This is an important milestone. I stand here in support of Senate Bill 556, sponsored by Senator Hurtado, and not just myself, but our entire Kern County Board of Supervisors has taken a support position. It's absolutely critical that we get this passed. There's $2 million allocated for the Panorama Vista Preserve, which is below the bluffs, but it's linked to this corridor. It's linked to the Kern River. We have a fascinating asset here. It's a beautiful, beautiful open space, over 900 acres. It's a gem of Kern County. It's a place for recreation. It's a place for education. It's a place for restoration. They are bringing back nature, trees, vegetation. It is a truly beautiful asset. So I'm just proud to be part of that. And we helped with some recent road infrastructure and some physical infrastructure, but nothing can replace or is on par with the natural restoration that's happening. So we're grateful. This money is going to go towards that. We're thankful for that. And we just had that flooding event in 2023 like it was yesterday. I remember we staged down there. The preserve was so gracious to host. We were at the crossroads of flooding, of canals, of Roberts Lane was in jeopardy. The stables were in jeopardy. So this bill is so important to build the infrastructure to prevent that and to mitigate that next time when it will happen. Because it's not if, not when, but it will be if. It's coming. We know it's coming. We will be prepared. And also this bill will do such great work to mitigate flooding, to help with water recharge, to help with our ag industry, to help with environment. And so I just want to thank you, Senator, for fighting for the Central Valley. Too often these funds go north, these funds go south. But with this bill, these funds will come home to Kern County, where we will put it to good use. So thank you. And at this time, I'd like to call Carolyn Belly to come up and say a few words.
Yeah. Oh, I'm talking. Come on up.
That's okay.
Last minute change.
And what a champion we have here for leadership at the Panorama Vista Reserve. Carolyn Belvin.
First, I'd like to thank Senator Hurtado for being here today and
Just get close to your mouth.
First, I'd like to thank Senator Hurtado for being here today and for her leadership on local and regional issues. Bakersfield has an arid climate with a little rain. The Kern River that flows from Mount Whitney through the Panorama Vista Preserve in Bakersfield is a jewel for all the people in and around Bakersfield to enjoy. Passage of Senate Bill 556 will fund expanded floodplain restoration at Panorama Vista Preserve. The preserve is an urban oasis that River Partners has been restoring over the last 16 years to improve the resiliency of local ecosystems and the community, including improving public health through outdoor recreation, planting trees, provides oxygen we breathe, contributes to greenhouse gas reduction, helps prevent erosion, helps the percolation of water and groundwater recharge, cleans the soil, creates shade. The trees are important to wildlife for foraging and nesting, and they improve our quality of life and are aesthetically pleasing. The Panorama Vista Preserve is approximately 1,000 acres of open space on both sides of the Kern River, open to the public, free of charge for low-impact, non-motorized recreational activities, including horseback riding, bicycling, hiking, jogging, dog walking, and bird watching. We are dedicated to improving wildlife habitat along the river through restoration of its riparian forests and grasslands, and we provide educational and research opportunities for the area schools, colleges, and universities. 29 years ago, 3 nonprofits. Just a minute. 29 years ago, 3 nonprofits began the process to acquire 758 acres from ARCO. We raised the funds and we opened escrow. 27 years ago, the Kern River Corridor Endowment, which is a 501c3 public benefit nonprofit organization, was established to own and manage the future Panorama Vista Preserve. 16 years ago, we partnered with River Partners, who began habitat restoration at Panorama Vista Preserve by first preparing a conceptual restoration plan for the future preserve. Since then, they have planted 67,000 native drought-resistant trees, shrubs, and vines on 250 acres of the preserve. River Partners is a unique nonprofit organization who has done our natural restoration projects in a very knowledgeable and professional way. River Partners is positioned like no other organization to maximize the benefits of Senate Bill 556 funding. The preserve will greatly benefit from the passage of Senate Bill 556, as will the community of Bakersfield. Now I'd like to welcome the mayor of McFarland. I did not get your name. Saul. Thank you. He's the mayor of McFarland to speak.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I want to thank Senator Melissa Hurtado for sponsoring Bill 556. I want to thank all the representatives for taking time out of their day to help with support this bill. For too long, the flooding issue has affected McFarland since 1998. It's been, and the surrounding communities. Can you hear me? We got it. Yeah. And it even took a life in 1998. So now it's over 40 years. So for too long, McFarland has faced this problem on its own. While the source of the flooding lies outside our city limits, the damage has always been felt within, affecting our schools, our streets, and most importantly, our homes. But also, let's not forget our beloved animals, because we have to find, when we evacuate, we have to find locations for them. And like a lot of our cities and districts already facing overcrowding, we got to relocate our beloved animals. But the result, when Pozo Creek overflows, it carries runoff, passes through a dairy operation with thousands of cattle before reaching our neighborhoods. The result mixture of stormwater and animal waste is a public health and environmental concern that no community should be forced with. As a mayor, I knew we had to change this approach. Behind the scenes, I began working with the right partners and could evaluate this from a local crisis to a statewide priority. That included reaching out to river partners, a nonprofit with a strong record of initiative flood control projects. I toured some of the sites in Sacramento where they actually handled some major projects. This vision inspired me and gave us a blueprint on what's possible for Pozo Creek. All that was missing, one critical item: the funding. Today, with 556, we're finally seeing a path toward real, regional, long-term solutions. The bill proposes to allocate $20 million towards floodplain restorations alongside Pozo Creek, targeting the root cause of our flooding issues. This is a critical first step. It shows that the state of California recognizes equities that small, disadvantaged, and underserved communities like McFarland have faced for too long, and is ready to act. This is not just a budget item, it's a lifeline. It's the start of the future where our residents no longer live in fear every time the skies are darkened, a future where our children can walk safely, a future where our community can thrive without being dragged back by flooding every year and year. To everyone who's helped us reach to this point, especially Senator Melissa Hurtado, thank you. And for those who continue to support 556, thank you for standing with McFarland and the surrounding communities and recognizing that flood protection is just not the infrastructure, but it's about fairness, health, and protecting lives. We are proud of the progress this bill presents. We are also hopeful what's next. Let's continue to work together to get SB 556 across the finish line. Thank you so much. And here's Senator Melissa, Bill from River Party. I'm jumping the gun again.
Afternoon, everybody. I am Bill Eisenstein. I'm the Director of Planning with River Partners. Thank you so much for being here today. And as others have generously already mentioned, River Partners is a 25-year-old nonprofit that was founded by Central Valley farmers to do multi-benefit floodplain restoration and riparian forest restoration. We have done almost 20,000 acres of restoration from Redding to Bakersfield over the last 25 years in a variety of settings, most rural communities, big cities, and everything in between. And we work on a willing seller model only, which is a point I'd like to note as well in this context. We only work with landowners that want to work with us. We have no ability or desire to coerce anyone into doing anything that they don't want. This is all about voluntary action, partnership, and collaboration with landowners and with all stakeholders in the region. So the supervisor already mentioned, and I don't need to remind anyone who lives down here of what happened 2 years ago with the flooding, in particular on the lake bed, but all around the basin. And that, of course, is an experience that has happened in the past, but had not happened in quite a long time. So a bit of a wake-up call for many communities and folks not only here, but around the state, as a reminder of the flood potential that exists in this region. And unfortunately, not only will that happen again, but actually the risks of it happening again are rising because of the changes that are underway in our climate and the fact that much of what falls as snow in the mountains today in the future will fall as rain and create an even greater flood hazard. At the same time, of course, this region also has one of the most significant groundwater sustainability challenges in the state of California, arguably the most difficult challenge of any region of the state. But the good news that we're here to offer and that SB 556 invests in is that both of these problems have one solution, which is to give the water more room to spread out, to sink into groundwater aquifers, and also to slow down. Spread out, slow down, and sink into groundwater aquifers. So that is what floodplain restoration does. We reconnect floodplains to the rivers to give those rivers more room to spread out, slow down, and sink in. So as Mayor Ayllón just mentioned, we've done this not only here as part of Panorama Vista Preserve, where, as was noted, we've done over 200 acres of restoration, forest restoration, primarily on the lowlands down along the river that you can see perhaps later as we go over toward the bluffs, but also in significant locations elsewhere in the valley, including California's newest state park, Dos Rios State Park, which is at the confluence of the Tuolumne and San Joaquin rivers in Stanislaus County. 12 years ago, that park, what is now a park, was farm fields and pastures owned by a private landowner who willingly sold it to our organization. And over that 12 years, we have in various phases restored 1,600 acres of riparian forest, all of which is floodable and which can bring down flood risks for communities in the neighborhood, and also provide groundwater recharge benefits, recreation benefits, and it will now become the newest state park in California. So that, I think, is really the power of what we're talking about here, is single projects that produce all of these benefits. And of course, PVP, Panorama Vista Preserve, is a wonderful example, particularly of the recreation benefits that can come from these investments as well. Benefits to the community all around. So when we sponsor these projects and when we move forward with SB 556, what we're finding, and what has in fact happened, is that we have support from all across the political spectrum for these projects and for this bill. We have water agencies, we have groundwater sustainability agencies, we have environmental groups, we have tribes, we have municipalities, we have recreational interests, all of whom are supporting this bill and have publicly expressed their support. And as of this time, no public opposition to SB 556 has emerged. We have a broad spectrum, we have bipartisan support, as you see here, all across the basin in support of this bill. So the person whose leadership has brought us to this point and who is advocating for these benefits and for these projects for the Tulare Basin, and by the way, projects not only in Kern County but also Kings and Tulare County are part of SB 556, is Senator Melissa Hurtado. So without further delay, I'll hand the mic to her.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. There we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being out here with us this afternoon. I know everyone has a busy schedule, and we really appreciate the opportunity to be and gather with you in support of SB 556. We introduced this piece of legislation not too long ago as part of our common sense plan, because quite frankly, SB 556, it's common sense. It's focused on investments in projects, a total of $44 million for the counties of Tulare, Kings, and Kern that have multi benefits to these projects. And so it makes common sense in a day where you see so much opposition and wars and fights on water issues. This is the type of issue where you have no opposition and you have different stakeholders all in support, because quite frankly, once again, it just makes sense. And a big push for these types of investments really comes from the leaders of Kern County, of Kings County, and Tulare counties. And I'm proud to stand here with them because they're the ones that make the calls. They're the ones that send the text messages. They're the ones who reach out and say, Senator Hurtado, the community is about to flood. We're about to evacuate people, as the mayor did, the mayor McFarland did not too long ago. It's devastating. It's devastating to see the fear and hear the fear that the committee members are going through as they're hearing that there's a possibility of flooding. And we know it's very real, and this bill will be focusing on projects that'll help with that, and will also help give back to our aquifers, which is desperately needed in the Central Valley. So it's a common sense bill here for the Central Valley, for the Southern Central Valley. There's a lot of work to be done. We're only at the early stages of the process, but we're hoping that we can get this done by August. And I'll continue to need the support of the leaders of Kern County and beyond to ensure that this measure gets through and gets funded. So once again, thank you to the leaders, thank you to the community members for being here today, and let's ensure that SB 556 makes it all the way through. Thank you. All right, thank you. Liz, do you have any questions?
If our questions, ask him.
Seriously.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, well, thank you, everybody.
Well, somebody knew what he was talking about. It's like trying to piece together with you. All right, thanks a lot. Oh, I get it. We want protection. What are you doing?